Hey, beautiful souls, welcome back to the Sienna Hour. I am your host, Sienna Lux, and tonight we are going somewhere that most people are not brave enough to go. We are talking about the morning after, the day after the hallway moment, the day after the marriage ends, the day after the life you built collapses around you, the day after everything changes and you still have to get up, get dressed, and figure out what comes next. That is tonight. And I need every single woman watching to stay with me through all 4 segments, because where we end up tonight is going to be worth every single minute. Now, before we get into anything, I need to start by acknowledging the women and the men who showed up for episode 2 in a way that genuinely moved me. Because y'all did not just watch a show last night, y'all held me through something real. And I do not take that lightly. Let me read some of the Cash Apps and Venmos that came in during episode 2 and after. Raven sent a donation and said episode 2 changed something in me that I cannot even put into words yet. Give me time. I am still processing. Raven, take all the time you need. That is exactly what this show is supposed to do. Alicia sent a donation and said the moment Sienna came back after the gunshots and sat back down at that desk, I knew I was watching something I would never forget. Alicia, neither will I. Priscilla sent a donation and said I sent episode 2 to 11 women in my phone. 3 of them called me crying afterward. Priscilla, you just changed 11 lives. Thank you for being that kind of woman. Latonya sent a donation and said Mr. High Value got what he deserved. May that wife find everything he could not give her. Latonya, say that again. Marcus sent a donation from the men's side and said he showed episode 2 to his sister, and she broke down. He said thank you for saying what she needed to hear. Marcus, you are a good brother. Your sister is lucky to have you. Destiny sent a donation and said the Dre moment in segment 4 was the most powerful television I have ever seen. She said it without shaking. She said it without raising her voice. And she said it without apologizing. Destiny, that is the only way. And Jasmine sent a donation and said I have watched episode 2 4 times already. Something different hits me every single time. Jasmine, that means we did something right. Cash App is $ Sienna Lux 01, and Venmo is Sienna-Lux. Every dollar keeps this space running. Every message gets read. You're never invisible here. Now let me check in with the early arrivals, because y'all are always here before the show even starts, and I see every single one of you. Moni is back. Moni, who asked the question that started everything in episode 1. Monet, you came back, and that means more to me than you know. Welcome home, sis. Kezia is here. She said she cleared her whole evening for tonight. Kezia, your presence is felt and appreciated. Lena is here, and already in the chat talking. Lena never misses, and I love that about her. Nia said she brought 3 new women with her tonight. Nia, that is how this community grows. Thank you for being that woman. Blessing is here from Atlanta. Blessing, welcome to the Sienna Hour. And Jerome came through from the men's side early. Jerome said he has been watching since episode 1, and he is not going anywhere. Jerome, real one stay. Welcome back, King. Now, before we get into tonight's topic, I need to acknowledge something that happened on our floor since episode 2 ended, because I know y'all have been wondering. I know y'all have been in my comments asking, and I owe you an update. Mr. High Value did not make it. He passed away in the hospital from his injuries. And I need a moment before I say anything else, because I want to be very careful about how I handle this. Because a man is gone, a human being. Whatever he did, whatever choices he made, he is somebody's son, he was somebody's husband, and he is gone. His wife is planning his funeral right now. On the same floor where all of this happened, she is grieving a man who hurt her. And y'all, if you have never had to grieve somebody who hurt you, let me tell you that is one of the most complicated and painful human experiences there is. Because the grief and the anger live in the same body at the same time. And neither one of them makes the other one go away. The entire floor has rallied around her. Neighbors are bringing food to her door. People are checking on her. Everybody is giving her privacy and space and just letting her know she is not alone. And that is the right thing to do. That is what community looks like. As for Jalen T. Brooks, the military boyfriend, he is currently in custody at Broward County Correctional Center. He is facing serious charges. And whatever the legal, Process holds for him that is between him and the courts now. I am not going to comment on that further. What I will say is this: 3 lives were destroyed in that hallway. One of them is gone, one of them is behind bars, and one of them is planning a funeral she never should have had to plan. And it all started with one man's choices. Let that sit. Let that really sit. Now, I also want to mention something else that happened on our floor. We have a new neighbor. Somebody moved into one of the units while all of this was going on. And I do not know much about him yet. I just know he is new, he is quiet, and he seems to carry himself very differently from what we just witnessed on this floor. I am not going to say much more than that right now. But I have a feeling he is going to come up again before this season is over. And before we go any further tonight, I want to introduce our candle for episode 3. Tonight, I am lighting the Candle in the Storm from the Sienna Luxe candle collection. She stayed lit through everything. That is the whole story of this candle right there. The petrichor and stormy sea air at the top, the dark jasmine and warm amber in the heart, the smoked sandalwood and deep musk at the base. This candle smells like a woman who burned steady and bright in the middle of whatever the world threw at her. And tonight of all nights, I needed to light this one. This candle is for the wife next door. This candle is for every woman in this chat who has been through her storm and is still here, still burning, still showing up. You can find the Candle in the Storm and the full Sienna Luxe candle collection at the link in my bio right now at siennalux.komi.io. Go light something beautiful tonight. Now, tonight we are talking about rebuilding, about what happens the morning after the worst night of your life, about how you get back up when everything you built is gone, about how you find your voice when the noise has been so loud for so long that you forgot what your voice even sounds like. And tonight, I have a reaction video that I cannot wait to watch with y'all. It is called Women Who Rebuilt from Nothing and Won. And it captures every single thing we are talking about tonight. The comeback, the resilience, the women who lost everything and came back with more than they started with. We are going to watch it together tonight. I have it queued up and ready, and I promise you by the time this show is over tonight, you're going to leave here feeling like you can rebuild anything. Now let me check this chat, because y'all are already... Hold on, we already have somebody in the comments who wants to start tonight. Raymond says this show is nothing but man-bashing propaganda, and women who watch this are going to end up alone and bitter. Raymond. Welcome to episode 3 of the Sienna Hour. I see you came prepared tonight. Raymond, let me ask you something. Have you watched episode 1? Have you watched episode 2? Because if you had, you would know that this show is not about bashing men. This show is about healing women. And the difference between those two things is enormous. I have never once said all men are bad. I have never once said women are perfect. What I have said is that women deserve to be in spaces where their healing is centered, where their stories are heard, where their worth is affirmed. And Raymond, if a woman healing herself makes you feel attacked, then I would gently suggest that is something worth examining on your own time. You are welcome to stay and learn something tonight, Raymond, or you are welcome to keep scrolling. Either way, this show is going to keep going. Okay. Now, where were we? Chat is going crazy, I see. Let me check in. Moni says Raymond got handled in 30 seconds flat. Moni, I love you. Kezia says Raymond showed up so Sienna could show us how it is done. Kezia, you are absolutely right. Lena says Raymond came to the wrong show on the wrong night with the wrong energy. Lena facts. Blessing says first male commenter down, how many more to go? Blessing, honey, you have no idea what tonight holds. Now let me get back to our topic because I need to set the foundation before we go any further tonight. The morning after the hallway moment is not what people think it is. People think rebuilding looks like waking up one day and feeling okay, like flipping a switch, like one morning you just decide to be better and everything falls into place. That is not rebuilding. That is pretending. Real rebuilding is ugly. It is slow. It is non-linear. It looks like going backwards sometimes. It looks like being fine on Tuesday and falling apart on Thursday. It looks like not knowing who you are anymore because so much of who you were was wrapped up in what you just lost. And that is okay. That is human. That is real. Tonight we are going to talk about what rebuilding actually looks like. Not the highlight reel version, the real version. And hold on, we have another one. Terrence says, Mr. High Value died because of a woman who could not keep her legs closed. Not because of his choices. Women need to take accountability too. Terrence. I am going to respond to this very carefully because this is a serious conversation that deserves a serious answer. Mr. High Value made a choice to betray his wife. He made a choice to betray his friend. He made a choice to be in that hallway, doing what he was doing. Nobody forced those choices on him. He made them freely as an adult man. Now you want to talk about accountability. I am all for accountability, Terrence. Let us talk about it. Accountability means owning your choices and their consequences. And the choices that led to what happened in that hallway were made by the man who is no longer here. Not by the woman who is now planning his funeral. The woman who is grieving right now did not cause this. She is a victim of this. And I will not sit here and allow her grief to be weaponized against her on this show. We can talk about accountability all night, Terrence. But tonight accountability starts with the man who made the choices that cost him everything. Nia says Terrence needs to rewatch episode 2 3 more times. Nia, I agree. Destiny says Sienna keeps her composure and I am taking notes because I would have lost it. Destiny, that is exactly why we are here. So you can take those notes. Camille says she is printing out what Sienna just said and putting it on her wall. Camille, please do. Now let me check the Cash Apps and Venmos that have been coming in since we started tonight. Thank you, Monet, for your donation. She said, episode 3 better be as powerful as episode 2. Monet, I promise you it already is. Thank you, Kezia, for your donation. She said she lit a candle before the show started because she knew tonight was going to be a night. Kezia, you were absolutely right. Thank you, Blessing, for your donation. First-time donor, and she said she watched episode 2 6 times before tonight. Blessing, 6 times. You are family now. And thank you, David, who came through from the men's side with a donation and said he is watching tonight because he has a teenage daughter and he wants to understand what she is going to face. David, that is a good father right there. Your daughter is blessed. Cash App is $ Sienna Lux 01 and Venmo is Sienna-Lux. And I want to get to our video tonight because it is everything. Women who rebuilt from nothing and won. I have it right here. Let me just... Hold on, y'all. We have another one coming in. Big Mike says women on this show act like men are the problem, but statistics show women initiate 70% of divorces, so who is really the problem? Big Mike. I appreciate the statistics. I do. Let me give you some context around those numbers. The reason women initiate the majority of divorces is not because women are the problem. It is because women are more likely to recognize when a relationship is no longer working and make the decision to leave rather than stay in something broken, out of obligation or fear or economic dependency. And Big Mike here is another statistic for you. Women are also more likely to have tried everything to save the marriage before they file. Counseling, conversations, second chances, third chances. Women do not leave easily. They leave finally. So yes, women initiate more divorces. And the reason is not because they are the problem. The reason is because they finally stop being afraid to choose themselves. And that is exactly what tonight's show is about. Thank you for the setup, Big Mike. I could not have done that better myself. The chat is on fire right now, I can see it. Aisha says Big Mike walked into that and Sienna turned it into a whole lesson. Aisha, yes, she did. Fato says she is screenshotting everything tonight. Fato, same. Gina says Big Mike actually helped the show and did not even know it. Gina, that is the beautiful irony of tonight. Now, I am going to get to this video, I promise. Here we go. Another one. Anthony says Sienna has 2 baby daddies and a failed marriage, so why should anyone take relationship advice from her? Anthony. We have been here before. Different name, same energy, same attempt to use my children and my journey as a weapon against my credibility. So let me say this one more time, and I am going to say it clearly, so nobody in this chat ever has to wonder where I stand. My 2 daughters are the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. My journey, including the parts that did not go the way I planned, is the exact reason I am qualified to sit in this chair. Not despite it. Because of it. I did not come here because I had a perfect life. I came here because I survived an imperfect one, and I have something real to say about it. And Anthony here is the thing about relationship advice. The most qualified people to give it are not the ones who never made mistakes. They are the ones who made mistakes and learned from every single one. Who came out the other side with wisdom they did not have going in? That is me, on every episode of this show. My girls are my testimony, my journey is my qualification, and the Sienna Hour is not moving for you tonight or any other night. You are welcome to stay, Anthony, but come correct or do not come at all. Jade says Anthony tried it and got the whole testimony thrown at him. Jade facts. Kemi says I stood up in my living room when she said my girls are my testimony. Kemi, sit back down, baby. We still have 3 more segments. Ola says Sienna has now handled 4 men tonight and has not raised her voice once. Ola, that is the whole point. Honey says she is taking notes on how to respond to people who try to use your past against you. Honey, the answer is always stand in it. Own it. Let it be your strength, not your shame. Okay. We have 1 more coming in before I get to this video. Carlos says he just wants to say he thinks Sienna is a beautiful, strong woman, and he would love to take her to dinner sometime and show her what a real man looks like. Carlos, I see you. And I appreciate the compliment. I genuinely do. But I need you to understand something. This studio is not a dating app. This chat is not a place to slide into someone's comments with dinner invitations. The women in this chat are here for healing and growth and community, not to watch their host get hit on while they're trying to process their own journeys. And Carlos here is some free advice. If you want to impress a woman, like the ones in this chat tonight, the best way to do it is not a dinner invitation in a YouTube comment. The best way is to sit down, be quiet, and learn something. Because a man who can listen and grow is far more attractive than a man who just wants to be seen. Come back when you have watched all 3 episodes. Then we can talk. 5 for 5 tonight, y'all. 5 men, 5 different angles, 5 different responses. And we have not even gotten to the video yet. Pebbles says Carlos tried to shoot a shot in the middle of a healing show. Pebbles the audacity. Queenie says Sienna handled all 5 of them without breaking a sweat, and I am in awe. Queenie, thank you. Renata says this is the most entertaining and educational show on the internet right now, and she means that. Renata, that means everything. Sarita says she has been watching since the beginning, and episode 3 is already the best one. Sarita, we are only in segment 1. Hold on. And before we go into our next segment, I want to leave y'all with something. Because everything we just talked about in this first segment, the grief, the rebuilding, the men who tried to derail us and could not, all of it points to one truth. She is on her way up. No matter what tried to bring her down, no matter what she lost, no matter what was taken, she is on her way up. This is On My Way Up by Sienna Lux, and tonight it is the anthem of every woman in this chat. Stream On My Way Up by Sienna Lux right now on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and all streaming platforms. Search Sienna Lux. Stay with me, beautiful souls. Segment 2 is coming, and we are going deeper.
Used to sit and wonder why I gave my heart and you let it slide. Late nights I was losing sleep. Now I'm everything you couldn't keep. I was low, now I'm rising. You see me now, perfect timing. I'm on my way up, can't slow down. New life, new vibe, new sound. You had me once, I'm gone now. from a distance now, but I don't need you around. I moved on, I'm different. You lost me, now you I'm on my way, can't slow down. New life, new form, no sound. You had me once, I'm gone now. I don't even leave back around. I gave you love, you gave me lessons. Now I'm counting all my blessings. Everything I went through made me stronger than you ever made me. I'm on my way, can't slow down. Turn my pain into a cry.
Okay, beautiful souls, we are in segment 2, and I need y'all to stay with me because what we are about to talk about is something most people never give themselves permission to say out loud. Complicated grief. What does it mean to grieve somebody who hurt you? What does it mean to plan a funeral for a man who broke your heart? What does it mean to be angry and sad at the same time about the same person? How do you hold both of those things without letting one cancel out the other? Because that is what the wife next door is doing right now. And that is what thousands of women in this chat have done or are doing right now. Grieving people who were not good to them. Missing people they know they are better off without. Feeling guilty for grieving. Feeling guilty for not grieving enough. And I need every woman watching tonight to hear this. You are allowed to grieve somebody who hurt you. You are allowed to miss somebody who was not good for you. You are allowed to cry at a funeral for a man who broke your heart. None of that makes you weak. None of that means you are going backwards. It means you are human. Grief does not come with conditions. It shows up whether the person deserved your love or not. And the healthiest thing you can do is let it move through you instead of pretending it is not there. Let me check the chat and the donations because y'all have been so generous tonight. Thank you, Tasha, for your donation. She said the complicated grief conversation is the one she has been waiting for somebody to have, publicly. Tasha, we are having it tonight. Thank you, Vera, for your donation. She said she grieved her abuser for 3 years after she left him and felt ashamed about it every single day. Vera, there is nothing to be ashamed of. You loved somebody. That is never something to be ashamed of. Thank you, Willa, for your donation. She said this show heals things that therapy could not touch. Willa, I love you for that. Thank you, Zyla, for your donation. She said she lit the candle in the storm while watching tonight, and her whole room feels different. Zyla, that is exactly what it is supposed to do. And thank you, Kevin, who came through from the men's side and said he lost his mother last year, and this conversation about grief is helping him process something he did not even know he was still carrying. Kevin, grief does not have a gender, and I am glad you are here tonight. Cash App is $Sienna Lux 01, and Venmo is Sienna-Lux. Now, the wife next door, I want to talk about her specifically tonight because I think her situation is the most complex example of complicated grief I have ever witnessed up close. She married a man she loved, she built a life with him, she kept her home, she supported him, she did everything right, and now she is planning his funeral. Not because he died in an accident, not because he got sick, but because the choices he made in that hallway set off a chain of events that ended his life. And she has to grieve him, knowing all of that. She has to stand at his funeral knowing what he did. She has to accept condolences from people who do not know the whole story. She has to figure out how to mourn the man she thought he was, while also processing the truth of who he actually was. That is not just grief. That is grief on top of betrayal, on top of loss, on top of having to pretend to be okay in public while you are completely destroyed in private. And the neighbors on our floor have been incredible. Food has been left at her door every single day. People have been checking on her quietly. Nobody is pushing her to talk. Nobody is asking for details. Everybody is just showing up. And that is what community is supposed to look like in the hardest moments. And here comes segment 2's first interruption. Deshawn says women always cry over men who hurt them and then go find another man just like him and do the whole thing over again. So what is the point of all this healing if women keep making the same choices? Deshawn, that is actually a really important question, and I am going to give you a real answer instead of a dismissive one, because you deserve that. You are right that some women repeat patterns. That is real. That happens. And the reason it happens is not because women are stupid or broken. It is because unhealed wounds attract familiar pain. When you grow up in chaos, you normalize chaos. When you have never experienced healthy love, you do not always recognize it when it shows up. You recognize what feels familiar, even if what feels familiar is harmful. And that, Deshawn, is exactly why this show exists. Because every episode of the Sienna Hour is doing the work of interrupting those patterns, of naming them, of shining a light on them so women can see them clearly and make different choices going forward. Healing is not a guarantee that you will never make another mistake. Healing is a process of becoming more aware, more discerning, more able to recognize the red flags before they become hallways. So the point of all this healing, Deshawn, is not perfection. The point is growth. And growth changes everything. Yemi says Deshawn asked a real question and got a real answer, and that is the difference between this show and every other show. Yemi, exactly. Aaliyah says she used to be the woman Deshawn described, and this show is part of why she is not anymore. Aaliyah, that right there is the whole point. Brianna says Sienna just explained intergenerational trauma in the most accessible way she has ever heard. Brianna, thank you for seeing that. Ciara says she called her therapist after episode 2 and made an appointment. She is going next week. Ciara, I am so proud of you. Now I also want to mention something about our new neighbor, because a few people in the chat have been asking about him since I mentioned him in segment 1. I do not know much about him yet. He has been quiet since he moved in. He keeps to himself. He acknowledged the situation on the floor with a quiet respectfulness that I noticed. He did not pry. He did not ask questions. He just showed up with a quiet dignity that stood out to me. That is all I am going to say about him right now. But I have a feeling his presence on this floor is going to mean something. I just do not know what yet. And here is our second interruption of this segment. Jerome says he has been watching since episode 1 and he has a lot of respect for Sienna, but he thinks she is too hard on men. He says good men exist and they feel invisible on shows like this. Jerome, I hear you. And I want to acknowledge that you have been here since the beginning, and that means something. Good men absolutely exist. I have said that every single episode. I believe it with everything I have. The men who have donated to this show, the men who have sent messages of support, the man who told us about his daughter, the man who said he learned something. Those men exist, and this show celebrates them every single time they show up. But Jerome, here's what I need you to understand. When women come to the Sienna Hour, they are coming to heal from something real that happened to them. And the healing process sometimes requires naming the harm. Not all men. Specific harm. Specific experiences. Specific patterns that specific men put specific women through. And if naming that harm feels like an attack on good men, then I would gently suggest that the good men have nothing to worry about. Because this conversation is not about them. This conversation is for the women who need it. Good men do not feel threatened by women healing. They stand beside them while they do it. And Jerome, based on the fact that you have been here since the beginning, I think you might be one of those men. Stay. Keep watching. Keep growing. That is all I ask. Deja says Jerome got grace tonight and deserved it. Deja, yes, he did. Ebony says good men do not feel attacked by women healing, and that is the most important sentence of the whole night. Ebony, write that down, everybody. Fantasia says she is sending this episode to her boyfriend right now. Fantasia, let us know what he says. Gia says 3 segments of healing, and she already feels lighter than she has in months. Gia, we are not done yet. Now I want to get to our video. Women who rebuilt from nothing and won. I have it right here ready to go. Let me just pull it up and we are going to. You know what, y'all? We are almost at the end of segment 2, and I want to make sure we give this video the time it deserves. We are going to save it for segment 3. I promise you it is happening, and I promise you it is going to be worth the wait. Let me check these donations before we get to our closing song. Thank you, Hadia, for your donation. She said she grieved her ex for 2 years after he cheated and felt like something was wrong with her the whole time. Hadia, nothing was wrong with you. You were human. You loved somebody. That is never wrong. Thank you, India, for your donation. She said complicated grief is the most under-talked about thing in the women's healing space, and she is grateful tonight. India, we are talking about it. Right now. Together. Thank you, Jeanette, for your donation. She said she lit the candle in the storm and cried through the whole first segment. Janae, those tears are healing. Let them come. And thank you, Marcus, who came back for the second episode in a row from the men's side and said he is learning something new every single time. Marcus, that is growth, and growth is always welcome here. Cash App is $Sienna Lux 01, and Venmo is Sienna-Lux. And right now, I want to leave you with something that speaks to everything we talked about in this segment. Because grief is one thing, but finding your voice after grief, finding yourself after loss, finding the words to describe what happened and who you are on the other side of it, that is something entirely different. This is I Found My Voice by Sienna Lux. And tonight it belongs to every woman who is still searching for hers. Stream I Found My Voice by Sienna Lux right now on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and all streaming platforms. Search Sienna Lux, Stay With Me Beautiful Souls. Segment 3 is where the video finally happens. I promise.
I was quiet for so long, but not anymore. I used to hide behind the pain, didn't think I'd smile again. Every word I couldn't say got buried deep inside my chest. I was losing who I was, trying to be what they want, but something in me said, hold on, you're stronger than you think you are. Now I feel it in my soul, like a fire taking hold. I've been waiting for this moment. Found my voice, can you hear me now? Through every tear I'm louder now. I won't be sliding in anymore. I'm everything that died before I found myself. I found my life, turned every wrong into my life. Now I'm standing, I'm alive. I found my voice, and I won't hide. Every night I question me, if I was who I'm meant to be. But every scar I try to face only helped me find my place. Now I see it's crystal clear, all the things I used to fear led me right here to this sound. Now I'm rising from the ground. Now the fear is fading out, and the truth is breaking out. I've been waiting for this moment. Oh, my voice. Can you hear me now? I found my voice, can you hear me shout? Through every tear I'm louder now. I won't be silent anymore. I'm everything they doubted before. I found my strength, I found my life, turned every wrong into my right. Now I'm standing, I'm alive. I found my voice, and I won't hide. I love again, I was lost, felt the weight, paid the cost. But I'm rising, I'm alive, and I made it through the night. Now I'm screaming I've been quiet, but I'm breathing out. I won't be held down anymore. I break down, they doubted before. I found my sink, I found my light. Turned every dark into my bright. Now I'm standing, I survived, I found my voice. I'm alive.
Okay, beautiful souls, we are in segment 3 and I made you a promise. The video is happening tonight. Women who rebuilt from nothing and won. I have it queued up right now. I am not taking any detours. I am not reading any comments first. We are pressing play right now. Here we go. Oh Lord. We have a comment coming in right now that I cannot ignore. I am sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. Victor says women who watch shows like this end up alone because they spend all their time talking about healing instead of actually doing it. He says real healing happens in private, not on a YouTube channel. Victor, first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to address something important. Healing does not only happen in private, healing happens in community. Healing happens when a woman hears her story told out loud by somebody else and realizes she is not alone. Healing happens when a room full of women hold each other through the hard parts of the conversation. Healing happens in therapy, yes, and also on phone calls with sisters, and also in church pews, and also on shows like this one. And Victor, the idea that real healing has to be private and silent is the same idea that kept women isolated in their pain for generations. We were told to handle our business quietly, to not air our struggles, to smile and keep it moving. And look where that got us. The Sienna Hour exists because women needed a place to be loud about their healing, to name their pain in public so other women in private could recognize themselves and know they are not alone. That is not a problem, Victor. That is a solution. Now, the video. For real this time. Kaya says Victor got a whole TED Talk and did not deserve it, but the women watching did. Kaya, you're absolutely right. Lashe says she has been trying to get Sienna to the video for 2 segments now, and she is invested in this journey. Lashe, we are getting there, I promise. Moni says she does not even care about the video anymore. This show is the content. Moni, I love you, but we are playing this video. Okay, for real, no more interruptions. The video is queued. My hand is on the button. We are going. Women who rebuilt from nothing and won. Let us go. Y'all. I cannot make this up. We have a donation coming in from somebody named Smooth D who sent $15, and his message says, Sienna, you are fine as wine, and I know after watching all these episodes about bad men, you must be looking for a good one. I am available. Smooth D, I want to thank you for the $15. That is genuinely appreciated, and it is going toward keeping this show running. Now, Smooth D baby, sweetheart, I need you to understand something. A woman who hosts a daily empowerment show for women is not on her show looking for a date. She is on her show doing her purpose. And the most unattractive thing a man can do is watch a woman walking in her purpose and immediately try to make it about himself. You want to be attractive to a woman like the ones in this chat? Show up consistently. Bring substance. Be someone who adds something to the room instead of trying to take something from it. Thank you for the $15, Smooth D. Come back when you are ready to learn something. The door is always open. Y'all, I cannot play this video tonight. I have tried 3 times, 2 male commenters, and 1 donation with an agenda. And we are at the end of segment 3. I owe you an apology. I genuinely owe you an apology. I promised you this video and we did not get there tonight. And I want to be honest with you about why. Tonight happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen. The men who flooded these comments tonight proved the point of the show better than any video ever could. They proved that women cannot have a space without somebody trying to interrupt it. That women cannot have a conversation without somebody trying to redirect it. That women cannot heal in community without somebody showing up to question whether they deserve the space. And every single time tonight, every single time, we handled it. We did not shut down. We did not get defensive. We did not lose our composure or our message. We stayed lit. Through all of it, just like the candle, Women Who Rebuilt from Nothing and Won is going to be the first thing we watch together in episode 4. I promise you that on everything I have. It is happening. And the fact that we have been building to it since segment 1 of tonight means that when we finally press play together, you are going to be ready to receive every single thing it has to say. That is not a delay. That is preparation. Nyla says she is not even mad about the video, because tonight gave her more than any video could. Nyla, I hear you. Octavia says the men tonight were the whole lesson. Octavia, they really were. Portia says she is going to tell everyone she knows to watch episode 4 because the video is coming and she wants them ready. Portia, yes. Share it everywhere. Quiana says, tonight proved that women cannot have anything without somebody trying to take it. And Sienna handled every single one. Quiana, that is the message of the whole night right there. Let me check these donations before we close out this segment. Thank you, Rashonda, for your donation. She said she has been watching all 3 episodes back to back tonight, and she is not going to sleep until she processes everything. Rashonda, take your time. Let it work. Thank you, Sasha, for your donation. She said I found my voice made her cry in the best possible way. Sasha, that is the song doing exactly what it was written to do. Thank you, Tiana, for your donation. She said she ordered the candle in the storm while watching tonight, and she cannot wait for it to arrive. Tiana, it is going to be worth the wait. And thank you, Valencia, for your donation. She said she has been single for 4 years by choice, and tonight gave her the most powerful confirmation that she made the right decision. Valencia, 4 years of choosing yourself is 4 years of building something real. Keep going. Cash App is $SiennaLux01, and Venmo is Sienna-Lux. Beautiful souls. We made it to segment 4, and I am so grateful for every single one of you who has been in this chat all night. The women who have been here since the beginning, the women who joined us along the way, the women watching the replay right now at whatever time it is where they are. You all showed up tonight, and that means everything to me. Let me start by checking these donations, because y'all have been so generous, and I need every single person to feel seen before this show ends. Thank you, Wanda, for your donation. She said this is the most important show on the internet right now, and she will argue with anybody who disagrees. Wanda, I love your energy. Thank you, Zena, for your donation. She said she almost did not tune in tonight because she had a hard day, and she is so grateful she did. Zena, I am so glad you stayed. You are exactly who this show is for. Thank you, Yasmin, for your donation. She said the complicated grief conversation in segment 2 gave her permission to feel something she has been suppressing for 2 years. Yasmin, feel it. Let it move through you. That is what healing looks like. Thank you, Zoe, for your donation. She said she has been sharing this show every single day since episode 1, and she is not stopping. Zoe, you are a founding member of this community, and I see you completely. Thank you, Amara, for your donation. She said she is a therapist, and she has been recommending this show to her clients because it does something in one episode that sometimes takes months in a clinical setting. Amara, coming from a therapist, that is the highest compliment this show has ever received. Thank you for that. Thank you, Bianca, for your donation. She said tonight gave her the words she has been looking for to describe what she went through after her marriage ended. Bianca, those words are yours now. Use them, own them, let them set you free. And thank you, Marcus, who came back again from the men's side and said he is learning something different every single episode. Marcus, that consistency right there is everything. Cash App is $SiennaLux01, and Venmo is Sienna-Lux. Every dollar keeps this space alive. Every message gets read. You are never invisible here. Now let me check in with this chat, because y'all have been carrying tonight right along with me, and I see every single one of you. Moni says she does not want the show to end tonight. Monier, I feel that. But we are going to close this out right and come back even stronger in episode 4. Kezia says she lit her candle at the beginning of segment 1, and it is still burning. Kezia, that is exactly what the candle in the storm was made for. Lena says tonight hit differently than episodes 1 and 2, and she cannot fully explain why yet. Lena, give it time. The things that hit the deepest always take a little while to fully arrive. Nia says she brought 3 women with her tonight, and all 3 of them are now subscribed. Nia, that is how this community grows. Thank you for being that woman. Aisha says she is taking a screenshot of every single thing Sienna said tonight about rebuilding. Aisha, take as many as you need. And Fatu says she has been watching since segment 1 and her whole chest feels lighter. Fatu, that is the healing working. Let it keep going, now. We have somebody in the chat who came back tonight. And I want to acknowledge this because it matters. Raymond came back. Raymond was one of the first voices in the chat tonight, and he came in with a certain energy. And he stayed for the whole show. And his message now says this: Sienna, I want to acknowledge that I came in tonight with the wrong energy. I have been watching since segment 1, and I stayed the whole time. And I need to say that the conversation about complicated grief hit me in a place I was not prepared for. I lost my father 2 years ago, and he was not a good man. And I have been carrying something about that I did not have words for until tonight. Thank you for giving me those words. And I want to apologize to you and to every woman in this chat for how I showed up at the beginning. Raymond, thank you for staying, thank you for watching, and thank you for being man enough to come back and say that. What you just described about your father, grieving someone who was not good to you, not having words for what you are carrying, that is complicated grief. And it does not belong only to women. It belongs to every human being who has ever loved somebody complicated. You came to this show tonight looking for one thing, and you found something completely different. And that right there is what growth looks like, and growth is always welcome on the Sienna Hour. I see you, Raymond, and I am genuinely glad you stayed. Celeste says Raymond's growth tonight is giving her hope for something she stopped hoping for a long time ago. Celeste, hold on to that. Deja says she is crying for Raymond because she knows exactly what complicated grief with a parent who hurt you feels like. Daja, you are not alone in that, and neither is Raymond. Elise says a man who can admit he was wrong in front of an audience is a rare thing. Elise, it is, and we celebrate it when we see it. And now we have somebody who has been quiet all night and just came through with something I need to read to this entire chat. William sent a donation tonight, and his message says this: Sienna, I have a 14-year-old daughter. I started watching your show because she watches it, and I wanted to understand what she was watching. I have now watched all 3 episodes, and I want to say something to you and to every woman in this chat. I did not understand before tonight how much work women do just to exist in this world, how much they carry, how much they navigate, how much they have to protect themselves from every single day. I have a daughter who is going to face all of this, and I want to make sure she knows her worth before the world tries to tell her she does not have any. Thank you for this show. Thank you for doing this every single day. My daughter deserves to grow up in a world where spaces like this one exist. And I am going to support this show every single week because it is giving my daughter something I do not know how to give her myself. William, you just said something that every father in this country needs to hear. The greatest thing you can do for your daughter is exactly what you just did. Show up, pay attention, try to understand her world, and then use what you learned to affirm her and protect her before the world gets to her first. Your daughter is watching this show, which means she is already doing the work of knowing her worth, and the fact that her father is right there watching beside her. That is going to mean more to her than you will ever know, more than you can imagine right now. Thank you, William. From every woman in this chat who wishes her father had done the same, the chat is overwhelmed right now and I can feel it. Fiona says William just made her believe that good men exist in a way that no speech ever could. Fiona, because he showed us, instead of telling us. Gianna says she is going to call her dad after this show. Gianna, do not wait. Call him right now. I will still be here when you come back. Haley says William is the standard, and she is going to remember this moment for a long time. Haley, so will I. Imara says she grew up without her father, and William's message just healed something she did not know was still open. Imara, I hear you, and I am so glad you are here tonight. Now, before I go into our closing, we have one more voice coming in from the chat. King K says he has been watching all night, and Sienna talks a good game, but none of this changes anything in the real world. King K Ciara just called her therapist and made an appointment. Aaliyah said this show is part of why she stopped repeating old patterns. Vera said she can finally stop feeling ashamed of grieving her abuser. And William said he is going to use what he learned here to protect his 14-year-old daughter. Tell me, King K, which part of that is not real? I will wait. That is what I thought. Good night, King K. Episode 4 is tomorrow. The video is finally planned. You do not want to miss it. Jade says she will wait is the most powerful response she's ever heard. Jade, it was the only one needed. Kemi says she cannot believe how graceful Sienna is under pressure every single episode. Kemi, that is the practice. That is what we are building together on this show every single night. Lamia says she came here tonight, feeling like she could not rebuild anything, and she is leaving, feeling like she can rebuild everything. Lamia, that right there is why we do this every single day, and Makina says she is setting an alarm for episode 4 because she is not missing the video. McKenna set that alarm. Tell everybody you know, because tomorrow night we are finally pressing play together. And before our closing tonight, I want to acknowledge the women who have been here through all 3 episodes. The ones who came back from episode 1 and episode 2. You are not just viewers anymore. You are the foundation of this community. And foundations matter more than most people realize because without a strong foundation, nothing beautiful can be built on top of it. You are the foundation of the Sienna Hour. And I do not take that lightly. Not for one single second. I need to stand up for this. Because after everything we talked about tonight, the grief, the rebuilding, finding your voice when the noise has been so loud for so long you forgot what your voice sounds like, after all of it, I need every woman watching to stand in something before she closes this stream. Say these with me. Say them out loud. Say them to yourself. Say them like you mean them. Because you do. I am not starting over. I am starting from experience. I am allowed to grieve what hurt me without defending that grief to anyone. My healing is not up for debate. I stayed lit through the storm. And I am still burning. What was taken from me was never the best of me. The best of me is still here. I do not need permission to rebuild. I just need to begin. I found my voice, and I am never giving it back. Still I rise, after everything. Still I rise. Before I let y'all go tonight, I need to tell you what is coming in episode 4. The video. Women who rebuilt from nothing and won. It is the very first thing we are doing tomorrow night. No waiting, no delays. We are pressing play the moment episode 4 begins. And I promise you everything that led up to tonight made the wait worth it. Our new neighbor. I have been mentioning him across 3 episodes now, and I have a feeling episode 4 is when we start learning a little more about who he is. Stay tuned, and we are going deeper into the rebuilding conversation, past the grief, into the actual work of putting yourself back together piece by piece. And I have things to say about that process that I have been saving for the right moment. Episode 4 is that moment. Subscribe right now if you are not already. Turn on notifications. New show every single day. And share this episode with every woman in your phone who needs it tonight. Because somebody's sitting somewhere right now in the middle of her storm, and she needs to know that women who stay lit through everything are on the other side waiting for her. Go get her. Send her this link. Tell her the Sienna Hour is where she needs to be.
It's quiet now. Just me and my thoughts. But I'm still here. Some days I don't recognize the girl staring back in my eyes. She's been hurt, she's been torn, but somehow she's still holding on. Every tear I tried to hide, every moment I almost died inside. But there's a voice deep in my soul saying don't give up, don't let go. Even when I'm breaking down, there's a strength I never found. Till I had nothing left to lose, now I see the truth. Still I rise, even when it hurts. Through the pain, through the worst, I won't let my story end. Tonight, still I fight. Through the darkest days, through the tears, through the rain, I was meant to see the light. Oh, I've been, but I don't break. Every scar is what I take, so that maybe I'll survive. Still I rise, still I rise. They don't know the nights I prayed, begging God to take this pain. But He gave me something more, a reason worth fighting for. Now I stand a little taller. Every fall just made me stronger. What was meant to break my soul only helped to make me whole. I can feel it in my chest, beating louder than my stress. I'm not who I used to be. Now I finally see. Still I rise, even when it hurts. Through the pain, through the worst, I won't let my story end. Tonight, still I fight. Through the darkest days, through the tears, through the wine, I was meant to see the light. Oh, I've been, but I don't break. Every scar is what I'll take to remind me I'll survive. Still I rise. I was down, I was lost, felt the weight of it all. But I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm stronger this time. Still I rise, let the whole world see what this pain did to me. Turn me into something I can't hide. Still I fight, and I won't back down. I'm reclaiming my crown. There's a fire burning deep inside. I bend, but I don't break. Every chance I'm gonna take, 'cause I know I'll survive. Still I rise, still I rise.
Beautiful souls. That is the Sienna Hour, episode 3. Tonight we talked about rebuilding, about complicated grief, about finding your voice when everything tried to silence it, about the women who stayed lit through every storm that was thrown at them, and through all of it, this community held. You held each other, you held the space, you held me. And a candle burned on this desk all night that was made for exactly this kind of evening. She stayed lit through everything, and so did you. I am Sienna Lux. This has been the Sienna Hour. And baby, still I rise. After everything, still I rise. And so do you. Good night, beautiful souls. I love y'all. I really do. Protect your peace. Choose yourself. Level up, sis. See you in episode 4.
It's quiet now. Just be in my thoughts. But I'm still here. Some days I don't recognize the girl staring back in my eyes. She's been hurt, she's been torn, but somehow she's still holding on. Every tear I tried to hide, every moment I almost died inside. But there's a voice deep in my soul saying don't give up, don't let go. Even when I'm breaking down, there's a strength I never found. Till I had nothing left to lose, now I see the truth. Still I rise, even when it hurts. Through the pain, through the worst, I won't let my story end. Tonight, still I fight through the darkest days. They don't know the nights I prayed, begging God to take this pain. But He gave me something more, a reason worth fighting for. Now I stand a little taller. Every fall just made me stronger. What was meant to break my soul only helped to make me whole. I can feel it in my chest, beating louder than my stress. I'm not who I used to be. Now I finally see. Still I rise, even when it hurts. Through the pain, through the worst, I won't let my story end. Tonight, still I fight through the darkest days, to the tears, to the wine I was meant to see. No, no. I'll bend, but I don't break. Every scar is what I'll take to remind me of survive. Still I rise, still I rise. I was down, I was lost, felt the weight of it all. But I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm stronger this time. Still I rise, let the whole world see what this pain did to me. Turn me into something I can't hide. Still I fight, and I won't back down. I'm reclaiming my crown. There's a fire burning deep inside. I bend, but I don't break. Every chance I'm gonna take, 'cause I know